Yeah. So till last session, we went through few of the macro creating on how to create macro variables, right? Using different methods. And today, let's go through few more topics of macros. The first one is macro autocall libraries. Okay. So, macros are useful in a way that if one creates, you know, if one creates, if a programmer creates a macro, that macro can be used by any programmer in the team or can be used in any program within the team. Okay, because macros are very useful, and if a programmer with some good coding skills, if he creates a macro which which in turn reduces some kind of time in terms of running jobs, creating some new methods with the help of the macro. So that common macro can be used by many other people. Okay. So for in those scenarios, we'll use macro autocall features. Okay. The main syntax for that one is mstored SAS mstore equal to autocall library. Okay. So autocall library in the sense, so the normal library which we create, right? We can store those macros in those libraries. So options mstored SAS mstore equal to some library name. So here my library name is work underscore pre. So for example, if I create in this way, I want to save this macro called print. Okay. So options mstored SAS mstore equal to work underscore pre. Yeah. So here mstored means the portion where the portion where you want to call the macro. Okay. So and um SAS mstore means it is it will give you the library reference with the library reference which you create in the SAS in the SAS environment. Okay, so remember these macros will be stored in form of a catalogs. Okay, so mstored is something called to use the stored macros. Okay, to use the stored macros, and SAS mstore it will point out to the particular library where you want to store the macro. So for example, if you want to store this macro, I'll just simply mention options some store sasm store equal to some library name, and I'll write my below code. Okay. So this particular print macro will be stored in this work underscore pre as a catalog in the catalog. And now you want to call the macro. Either you can call the macro, and if the library is accessible to the entire team, anyone can call those macros. Okay. First thing is SAS M auto source. Other one is SAS autos. These will help you. These will help to call the respective macros. So M auto source. So M auto source is something that it will tell you whether the autocall feature is available or not. Okay, whether the autocall feature for a particular library, for a particular library is available or not. Okay, once you enable the autocall feature, which is options M auto source. Okay, and post that. You say, if you have a saved macro, that is okay, or else you save a macro. Okay, sorry, you call a library. Call library. So call for the help of in order to call library, use options SAS autos. Okay, SAS autos. So mstored SAS mstore equal library name will will have the all the macros which you have already stored, and option SAS autos will give you the feasibility to call the respective macros from the particular library. Okay, so you call the Okay, so you have called with the help of SAS autos equal to the library name. And so next one is, you know what is print. So you directly use percentage print. So what is program, ma'am? So it is printing the, so no, I know it is this particular program. It is useful to write this particular data set into an output data set called DS. Okay. So here, what you will do, you want to write sasl.cars into DS. So simply mention this print. Okay. So in the log, if you see, you have 19 observations returned to work.ds. Okay. Clear, ma'am? Any questions on this one? Hello?
How SAS help class got printed when we gave the SAS help dot cars?
Okay. Did you understand this program, ma'am?
Yeah,
Okay. So what is the macro name here?
print.
Okay. So we are calling the print with the help of options as autos, right? Because
Okay.
we are storing our print in work underscore pre. So this is a library, work underscore pre. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are calling the same library. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. And now, so what
Mm.
does print have? It is used to print. It is simply used
Well,
to create a new dataset called DS with the help of the set dataset name. Okay.
okay.
So what is a set dataset?
SAS
Class
help dot class.
D name. Okay. Dataset name.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So okay. So once you cars second just to wait me. Just a second. Oh, there's not cars, right? Okay. Just help me a moment. My bad. Okay. So, and now, what is the D name here? A second, ma'am. Yeah. Okay. Now makes sense?
Yeah.
Hmm. So previously we no we didn't change it to D name. Okay. Yeah. Got this point, ma'am? It's clear
Yeah.
on this? M stored SAS SAS autos.
Okay.
Yeah. Clear? Any questions on this one?
No, no, clear.
Okay. Next one. Nested macros. Okay. So, whenever you want to write a macro within a macro. Okay. So if you want to build macro blocks within a macro, that's called nested macro. Okay. So what is the layman concept of a macro block, ma'am? Data, I mean, you know, SAS statements written between a macro and a main statement, right? The say in the so in between this macro and main statement, we insert another macro and also another macro. So that's called a nested macro. Okay. So for example, I have this print macro, which prints the data equal DS. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm calling this print macro in between this sprint macro. Okay. So what is this? So what does this sprint do? It sorts data dname out dname by where run. So what are the data sets? Sassel.class out ds with the help of sex. Okay. Sex variable. Got it, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm doing here, I'm running this in between. I'm calling another macro called print with dname2. Okay. So what does dname2 have? Can anyone tell me, ma'am, what does dname2 have? So what does ampersand dname2 macro variable resolve to?
We get the SAS help dot class only.
Then what is dname1?
No, out will be DS and the sex.
No, ma'am, I'm asking. So what does ampersand dname2
Sorted.
resolve to? Sorry?
We get the sorted SAS help dot class.
Okay, what is the dataset name here? If you see the entire program, you can easily tell, you can tell the dataset name, right? So what is the dataset name in the out statement? So in the out option,
Dname 2.
is the name to a dataset name or a macro variable
No,
name?
no, micro variable
Macro
name.
variable.
So
SAS help
how,
dot class.
so what does dname to result when we invoke it? Just look into the final macro invocation.
DS.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you see carefully, what we have in dname one, we have sassel dot class, and what we have
Yeah.
in dname two, we have ds, and
DS.
what we have in
DS.
var, we have 6. Okay.
6.
So what are we doing? First, we are sorting the data, and we are using a print macro. So what does print macro do? Whatever dataset we give into the print macro, it just prints the dataset name. No, it just prints the data of the particular dataset. So what happens here? Dname2 is the sorted data. Okay. So
Yeah.
what is the final sorted data, which is ds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what actually is a simple nested macro. So here we get the output, and here we get the sorted data,
Oh,
right, ma'am? See the log
yeah.
carefully. Yeah, yeah. You see ds will be read. Okay, and procedure print used. Okay, got it, ma'am? Yeah. So this is a simple nested macro. So any nested macro will be in this shape, ma'am. Will be in this type. The only thing is, it will have different macros within the macro. Okay, you call different macros within the macro and main statement. So this is somewhat simple. You'll be getting more complicated ones, but at the end of the day, you'll have one whatever you have it is between the macro and the main statement. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Next one, debugging macro errors. Okay. So once you get a macro error, okay, so what happens is, we can always make sure to prevent the macro error happening. That's because there are few steps to do avoid those. First one is, we no we, before we write a macro and main statement or the macro variables or create macro variables, the first thing what we do is we write a base SAS statements, right? Normal SAS statements, right? Okay. First thing is, we write a normal SAS statements, a normal standard program, and when we test it and we see it is without bugs, and then you have to add personal macro and personal main statement for a standard SAS program. So for instance, if I just mention carefully, what you do, ma'am, first thing is data ds set SAS dot cars run. Okay, assume this is a program. So you have written the basic SAS program. You see it is bug free. Okay, and you add percentage macro, percentage macro, and what is the name of this macro? Just consider a some cars macro, cars data, or else print data. And then, so what is the changing factor here? This one and this one, right? So you mention uh, two macro variables. One is for the set statement, which is uh, consider data set. Sorry, set name, comma. What is the other one? Output data set, which is output DS. Okay, that is done. Next, so it should end with men, right? Men statement. Okay. Now it is, you see, it is working fine. Okay. Now you want to call it. How do you call it? How do you call it, ma'am?
Percentage
Percentage?
put
Why put, ma'am? I want to call the data. I
With the
want,
name
percentage print
print
underscore data.
underscore data. Yeah.
yeah, underscore data. So tell me a data set name which you want to print. Which you want to create in the output.
Output underscore DS.
So you have two variables, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this set name. So what are we doing now?
Okay.
We are creating a two macro variables. One is set name. Okay. Other one is
Okay.
output DS, which is output dataset.
Okay.
Okay. Now tell me a macro, a dataset name which you want to create a an output for it. Using this scenario, set underscore name output underscore DS.
The SAS help dot
Mm-hmm.
class.
Sorry. So
SAS
what?
help dot class.
Okay. SAS help dot class, and then what is the output dataset name?
We can give
No,
like
which
DS.
whichever
No,
name
no,
you
no.
want. Anything is
Whatever
fine.
name. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I was saying. Any name. Yeah.
Okay. If you run this program, so you get class dataset called class with the help of with the name class.
Okay.
Okay. So this was something called a bug-free program, where what you do at the first, you write a normal program without macro variables and the macro men statement, and then you test it if it is bug-free or error-free, and then you jump on to the creating a inserting personal macro and men statement, and post that you start creating the macro variables. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
this step is in the beginning when we start the macros, right?
Sorry, ma'am.
So this debugging should be done before we start using macros. Like first debug macro and then start using macros, right?
No, ma'am, debugging is something that just to make the program error free. That's it. Okay. So
What's the
first
best timing to use it?
no, ma'am. That's what I told you, right? No, it is a set of statements where first what you do first, the first step. So the first step in what I have done, ma'am.
You call the macro at the print data and write the like kind of a standard.
Sorry, ma'am.
You write it. You were writing like kind of a standard program, like
Yeah,
person
yeah.
mac.
No. I'm no. I simply wrote a standard program with just
Yeah, yeah,
data ds set sasl dot class run. That's it. Okay.
yeah.
That is bug free, which is you know when I ran it, I don't see any error. Bug free means I don't see any errors in the log. That's it. Okay.
Got it.
Post
Okay.
that. Post that. I thought it's bug free, so I used. So post that you have to mention person macro and men statements. Okay. And once even that is bug free, you have to write your own macro variables. Okay, wherever you want to make the changes. Okay. So once everything is completed, it is called a bug free program. Okay.
Oh,
So always make sure you don't jump on to directly writing percentage macro, the macro name and the macro variables, and then directly deploying the macro variables here. Okay, and then directly writing the macro variables into the data and set statement. The first thing is first you have to write a standard SAS program, and once it is completely okay, upon that then introduce your macro statements and macro variables. Okay,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
clear, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. So, for example, you see, I mean, you see a different program where it is, it is, written by some other programmer. Okay, and you want to run that, and what happened is once you ran it, you got many errors in the log. Okay, okay. So, in
Mm-hmm.
order to debug those errors, we have few options in SAS, which are called macro debugging options. The first one is M error or no M error. So thing is you have to always make sure it is enabled. To enable it, you have to mention options M error. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So when this option is switched on, SAS will issue a warning if you invoke macro that SAS cannot find. Okay? A macro that SAS cannot find. So here in this example, I just switched on this macro options M error. I'm creating a macro name called Mac 112 with three macro variables called D and D1, D2 and condition COND.
Okay.
And I have data DS1 set DS2 where condition run mend. Okay, so it is fine. Now what I'm doing, I'm invoking this Mac12 DS1 with the respective macro variables DS1 class x equal to f, where x equal to f. For example, if I invoke this, you see, I got an error. What is the error, ma'am? Can you tell me why is this error? I'll do one thing. I'll run this entire program. Okay. Can you tell me why is this error, ma'am? Hello?
You can't see your screen, Raju.
Just a second, ma'am. Yeah. How about now? Can you see my screen, ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me why. Sorry. Just a second. Something. Just a second, ma'am. Seems my SAS got disabled. Next moment. Yeah. Now tell me why is this error? What happened for this? Why I'm getting this error?
The macro name is wrong.
So which okay. This
Mac
you mean this
Mac
Mac 12?
112. Yeah.
Yeah. So macro name is wrong. Okay. So this is what it tells you. Okay. Apparent invocation of macro 12 is not resolved. Warning. So when you enable this M error, it will give you this warning because Mac 12 is not being resolved. Because we only have Mac 112, not Mac 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what Mac 1. Yeah. So that is the help of M error. Okay. Yeah. So this is so we use percentage str as percentage string and percentage nrstr. So to avoid, just to make sure whatever the special characters we use, okay, they are treated as literals, which means, okay, whenever, in terms of microprogramming, whenever you have special characters, where in terms of quotations or half left parenthesis or single quotation or or ampersand symbol, okay, if you have ampersand symbol in this particular condition, SAS treats that to be a macro variable and it starts, resolving it by. But for our condition, we need the, for our condition we need this particular ampersand not to be treated as a macro variable. Okay, it is to be, it is to be treated as a literal. So that's the reason we use percentage str and percentage nrstr. So nrstr is something more, it has more features than percentage str. Okay, but yeah. So no, the main usage of these two str and nrstr is make sure these these special characters are treated as a special characters, but not some other macro variables. Okay, right, ma'am. Whenever you use, whenever you use these kind of special characters in terms of macro invocation, always make sure to use personal str or personal nrstr.
Okay.
Okay. So regarding these two, I'll tell you, ma'am. After this, once we complete this macros, I'll go in detail, regarding this str and nrstr. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Next one, options. Sorry, this is no M error. Okay, which means you are switching off this M error, so it won't give you any warning. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah.
Next one, S error, which is SAS will issue a warning if you use a macro variable that SAS cannot find. For example, I turn on this S error condition. Mm, TS1. Okay. TS2 person is X equal to F. Just see that. Okay. So if you see carefully, uh, okay. Yeah, apparent symbolic reference DS2 is not resolved, right? Getting it, ma'am?
Yeah.
Why is it not resolved? Where did I mention DS2, ma'am?
Set statement.
Yeah. So do we have this DS2 in our macro variable creation?
No.
No. So that's the reason we got this error. Okay. This warning. So if you don't enable this particular S error, okay, this S error, it won't provide you the warning. It just simply, if you, it'll just give you this all these syntax errors which are in red color. So these red color you can't, you just directly can't make sure which is going wrong. So with the help of these kind of debugging techniques, you can easily find out what is wrong in this particular program. Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the correct program. Okay. So even this, no, this is without, no, without. So I'm just turning off this S error. Okay. So you see, we don't see any warnings, right? Stating that DS2 is being used, right? Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is S error. Okay. Next one. M logic. Okay. So this is something called whenever you want to print. Okay, it prints in log. The details about this execution of macros and macro variables. Okay, the execution of macros and macro variables. Okay, let's see. See in the log. Okay, so yeah, so beginning execution. Parameter D1 has a value of DS1. Okay, so what this do? It will just give you all the information about what are the macros has been used and what are the macro variables are being used, and even the uh, even the information. Okay, and even it calls the data, what are data present in the respective macro variables. Okay, if you see carefully here, you have beginning execution. Parameter D1 has DS1 value. Okay, D1. So what is D1 here? D1 is a macro variable, right? So what does it have? It has a DS1, DS1. So it got resolved to DS1. D2 it got resolved to SAS class. And condition, it got resolved to sexf.
Mhm.
Okay, clear, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is M logic. Next one, M print. Okay, so M print is something that if you want to print the standard SAS program out of a particular macro program, it'll be useful. Okay, yeah. You see, so this is a standard SAS program, right? So here we have everything in program, coded in macros, but here we have everything in standard SAS program, right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one, options. Sorry, options symbol gen. Okay. So symbol is something called, if you want to know what are the values in the particular macro variable, symbol gen, no, we can use symbol gen. Sorry, there's no symbol gen. Just a moment. Option symbol gen. Okay, let's print this. Okay, yeah, it'll be more clear. Then, okay, it will give you the complete information of all the parameters which are macro variables, and even the at what stage what kind of macro variables are being used in the patterns in the program. Okay, at first stage data DS1 has been resolved, at second stage DS2, and third stage condition. Okay, got it, ma'am?
Yeah.
Any questions on these macro functions, ma'am? The macro
Yeah.
debugging
Just
functions.
one quick question that person STR and NRSTR.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So is it like you said that we can you just like explain in your words again? I mean, I understood your point, but just can you revise
Okay.
it?
Thing is, whenever you have any kind of a, whenever you want to mention any kind of a special characters in the invoking condition, invoking condition means this one. We invoke a macro with the help of this condition, right? This statement, right? Yeah. So, whenever we have those kind of conditions with the special characters. See here, I have quotations. Okay, right?
Okay, okay.
Quotations. And here I have greater than equal to. Here I have numerator. Sorry. Here
So
I
if we
have
don't
a numeric
use it,
value.
then macro will understand as a part of.
Yeah, as a part of its.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. So that's what we always make sure to use STR and NRSTR.
What is the difference between STR and
So
NRSTR?
NRSTR is somewhat more, more has more features than STR. Okay. But anyways, I'll go through these two STR and NRSTR in, mostly I'll try to cover it in this section itself. If not, then the next session, ma'am.
Okay, got it, Raju. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just a sec. I should have here NRSTR. Okay, let me. I mean, I'll just search for someone. I should have the program STR and STR. Okay, leave it, man.
Okay.
Next one. Yeah, whether this done logic. Any question, ma'am, on the SAS? Sorry, macro debugging.
It's clear now, Raju. Thank you.
Okay, so no questions. Okay, yeah. Next one is yeah. So macro functions. So just a second, ma'am. I'll be back. Yeah. So macro functions, ma'am. So we went through SAS functions, right? Basis functions. So whenever you want to use base SAS functions in macros, we have to always use sysfunc. Okay, percentage sysfunc. Okay, so percentage sysfunc function. I mean the function name. It's it's respective arguments, comma format. For example, here we have percentage let today equals sysfunc of today, comma date 9 dot. Okay, date 9 dot is the format where we mention today today to be stored as date 9 dot to be stored in the form of a date 9 dot format in the today macro variable. The same for this one. In the MON means. So now tell me, ma'am, if I for example today is the today's date. I have substring of this one. So tell me what what value I'll be getting in this MON macro variable. You got my question, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me what value will we be getting if I invoke or if I call ampersand MON.
Um, we'll get the month SCP.
Okay. Yeah. Where is this? Let us see. Okay. SCP here. Fine. Go ahead, ma'am. And next one. I put title. If you see here, says func of date of word date. Ma'am, remember word date dot format. Okay, anyways. So September 23rd, 2005 absence report. Okay. So I mentioned title as. So I just mentioned title is func of date absence report. Okay. Go ahead, ma'am. Why do you use sysfunc?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Okay. So next one, we'll what happened through this one? Why is it in green color? Ma'am, do you see this to be in green color?
Yeah, we see that.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, what happened? Yeah. Anyways, let's further dig into this sysfunc. Okay. So here I'm using a function called exist function. So exist function is something that it will tell us whether the respective dataset exists or not. Okay, can be of in a work library or in a stored library.
Okay.
Okay, so here what I'm doing here, my macro is percentage if. So normally how do we use if condition, ma'am? If yeah, if x equal to m. So that we use in between data and runs, right? We normally
Yeah.
used to use if condition in between data and run statements, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in order to write them in the same way, in macros we use percentage if. But we can use this in an open statement without the help of without the use of data and run statement. In order to use this if condition in an open statement, we can simply make sure to write percentage if
Mhm.
sysfunc of exist ampersand dsn, then do then do print if the dataset exists, print the same dataset, end, else else put the dataset does not exist. Okay,
Okay.
so the dataset exists, so it got printed. Okay,
Friends.
yeah, if you see carefully here, uh, yeah, if condition sysfunc exists is true, which is exists the dataset does exist in our work folder. Okay, for example if I mention this one ds11, you see if condition is false, so the dataset ds11 does not exist. Got it, ma'am?
Yeah.
In this way we can we use if condition to automate our many jobs. Okay, we simply make sure we have up. So for example, you want to know if we have a particular data set, you simply make sure to use if exists dsn, then do print the data set, else. So why do we use put, ma'am? Percentage put. We use percentage put just to make sure it prints the data set information in the log. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, next one. Certain. Okay, it is the cars. So we have cars. So it printed the cars. Go ahead, ma'am. Any questions on the if condition? How do we use if condition and exist function?
Clear, Rajiv.
Okay. Just Shawn, ma'am, any questions on this one?
No.
Okay. Clear, right?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Next one. Eval. So, so tell me, what are the character types? What are the what are the data types present in macros, ma'am? What are the data types present in macros?
Character data type.
Only one?
Yeah.
No numeric and all? No date?
No. No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, right. So, ma'am, just a second. Yeah. So, whenever we have any kind of a data in terms of numeric, and we want to make sure, and we want to make sure we use that numeric data to do some arithmetic calculations. Okay? No, to do some calculations. We use percentage eval. Okay? We use percentage eval. So this percentage eval make sure our data is being treated as a numeric data. Okay? For example,
Okay.
I have macro mac4, let a equal to 2, b equal to 3, and c. And c equal to, I want to do addition of a plus b. So I just can't simply do let c equal to a plus b. Okay, that won't happen because a character can't be addition of and another character, right? So we can't do addition of two character variables. So we mention percentage eval. It's a inbuilt macro function. Just run this. You see here. What? Okay. A resolves to 2, B resolves to 3. What happened? Okay, let me see. Okay. So A resolved to 2, B resolved to 3, and C resolves to 5. Clear, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Next one. Next one is sys eval f. Okay. Next one is sys eval f. Okay. So whenever you want a data in even in floating point, which is even decimals. So you're dealing with some data, the data itself is in decimals, and even you want the data, even you want the final output also in decimals. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, you have to use sys eval f. Okay. Floating points. So this eval only gives you the integers, but this sys eval f will give you data in
Yeah.
floating points. Okay.
Yeah.
For example, we have a equal 2.3, b equal 3.2, sys eval f, a plus b mend. Bad. Just a second. So what is it we get? 2.2, 3.2 to 5.5. Right,
Yeah.
ma'am? The same thing for this one also. So we have the syntax itself have some kind of a new feature called boolean, seal, floor, int. Okay. So we can even use this one, these ones also. For example, if I use just a second. A, B, C, D, F, G. Okay. Yeah. If I'll remove these of course. So now what we got? A is 2.3, B is 3.2, C is 5.5. So put the Boolean value is ampersand T. The Boolean value is 1. So what is the Boolean value here? Okay. Okay. Boolean ampersand A plus ampersand B. Okay. Next one. It is seal. So what is seal? It is 6. So 5.5, right? 6. And what is ampersand F? Floor value, which is 5. Okay. So integer, it will be 5. Got it, ma'am? 5, 5, 6, and 1. So you know
Yeah.
what are Boolean values, right? Ma'am?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Shravani, ma'am.
Can you explain Boolean?
Okay. So Boolean is something that we call ones or zeros, right?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So those are Boolean values. If it is true, it is 1.
Yes,
If it
sir.
is false, it is
False
0.
or true.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
So you remember seal, floor?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what. Fine. Yeah. Next one. Any questions, ma'am, in this sys eval F and eval? Any questions?
It's
It's
clear.
clear.
Okay. Yeah. Next one. Simget. Okay. So till now you used calls input, right? So what does calls input do, ma'am? Okay. So
Call what? Call?
calls input. So I
I
guess
think I missed that. Yeah.
okay.
I have to go back and look at the
Okay, no
It
problem.
creates the macro variable
Mm-hmm.
simply.
From where, ma'am?
data step.
Yeah. So it creates macro variable from a data step. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So on opposite of it is simget. Okay. So it returns the value of macro variables during the data step execution. Okay. For example, I created let a equal to s. Yes. Okay. So in during the data step during the data step execution, I want to see this yes as a data in column B. So column B
Okay.
have this yes. So I simply used simget A in double quotations. Make sure A in double quotations. What is A here? It's a macro variable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in order to call this macro variable with the help of simget, you simply mention the macro variable name in double quotation. Okay, in double
Okay.
quotations only during the data step execution. So simget resolves the particular macro variable only in the data step execution.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So it simply passes the value of a particular macro variable called during the data step execution into a column or something else which we use it.
Okay.
Okay, clear, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, percentage length. Okay, percentage length. So length. We have length function, right? What does length function do?
It defines the length of a variable.
Okay, length function, ma'am. I asked length function, not statement.
Length.
Remember, right? We used to measure what is the length of a particular variable.
Will
Mm-hmm.
return the number of like characters.
Yeah. So, what is the character? It used to return the character length of a particular variable, right?
Yeah.
The same thing
Mm.
here, percentage length. Okay. So if
Okay.
I have A equal to Krishna, B equal to Reddy, I'll just mention. So what the length of A is 7, the length of Krishna is 7, the length of Reddy is 5, and the length of both ampersand DA and ampersand B. Okay. So ampersand A gets resolved to Krishna, ampersand B gets resolved to Reddy. Okay,
Yeah.
percentage length of both length are on combined, it is 12.
Well,
Okay, that's what length. Okay, clear, ma'am? Any questions until now?
it's pretty clear.
Okay. I'll just make a hard stop here. Okay. So, any questions till now? What we have went through, ma'am? So, I have percentage length. So, I have length, SINGET, sys eval, F eval. Uh, other one is sysfunc. We have debugging techniques.
Yeah.
Okay, and we went through these nested macros. I mean, how to use M autos. I mean, SAS. How to
How
compile.
important are like nested macros? Like we're calling macro within a macro, right?
No, we are calling multiple macros in a macro. Yeah,
Okay, okay. So
yeah.
like, is
That'll
it
be
like
very.
in the real world, is it like really important
I mean, it's not important. I mean, ma'am, in terms
class?
of yeah. So in terms of coding scenarios, I don't say this is important and no, that is not important. So everything comes based on our no, based on our work. Okay, based on our requirement. Okay. For example,
Yeah.
you want to use a simple macro because your requirement is straightforward. Okay,
Yeah.
you use a simple macro. For example,
Okay.
you want to use some your requirement is is a complex requirement. It has many kind of inbuilt requirements where you want to call different techniques from different sources. Okay, so
o-
you use nested macros for those.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
it all depends on the requirement which you get. Based on it, you just go through the different techniques which we have in SAS.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I only tell which are commonly used across organizations. But there will be there will be few functions or few constraints uh, where there will be few scenarios where only few scenarios where where you get to use some new techniques. That that is what I mean, our programmer should learn.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because this nested macros, it's a small example, but in real time you'll have a much complex one.
Um.
Okay. The only thing you have to do is you have to always make sure to go step by step. Okay. Always make
o-
sure to go step by step.
Yeah.
Only then you can learn to debug a particular macro, or else
Yeah.
use these techniques, macro debugging techniques. This will be very helpful.
Okay.
In real time, this will be very helpful in order to debug what is the actual code present in the data.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, not data in the program.
In the program. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will be very helpful in debugging a particular program when when it is covered with entire macros. Wherever you see ampersands, percentages, and all. That'll be that'll be a little confusing. So always make sure to use this macro debugging techniques, which will help you a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions, ma'am, apart from this one?
No, Rajiv, thank you so much.
Yeah. Sharon,
Can
ma'am,
you
any
upload
questions?
the
Yeah, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
recordings?
Yeah, I'll do it right away. Sorry for that. I'll do it right away. Yeah.
No problem. Thanks.
So no questions, ma'am?